What's up, y'all? It's your biz bestie, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the exact steps I took to quit my job and build a business making over 3 times what I was making before. So before I started my business, I was in a job that was a little bit below my pay grade. Well, it was fine until it wasn't. So I'm working as an administrator in this office. And the company that I worked for wanted to stay very small and niche and only cater to a very small audience, right? So like I said, I knew this from the beginning. There was very little room for growth, but there were some opportunities. So I was like leveling up my skill set, taking on more responsibility, and it was all going just fine. I figured I'll stay here for a couple of years, see what happens from there. Well, that all changed about a year in when one day, the owner starts putting his dirty dishes on the counter and expecting me to take them to the dishwasher. And I'm really confused. So I told him absolutely not, because I'm not anybody's maid. I'm not your mama. I'm not your wife. I'm looking around to see, are one of these 3 women in the building? Because it sure wasn't me. And in my house, it was just me and my daughter at the time. But in my house, we put our own dishes in the dishwasher. So I was like, no, I won't be doing that. I didn't go get a degree from UC Berkeley so I could put your dishes in the dishwasher. So he wasn't too happy about that. And it turns into this silent war where he's putting his dishes on the counter every day and I'm ignoring them. So unless someone else comes and takes them and puts them away, they're actually piling up day after day. And at one point, he brings it up in one of our office meetings. So I'm sitting here like, is this man really holding a corporate meeting over some dirty dishes? And it's crazy because during one of those same meetings, one of my coworkers, she's telling us about this book she's reading and that it's hilarious. And honestly, I was never really a fiction girly, but the way she was describing it, it was so good. And it was about these assistants who got tired of being overworked, undervalued, underpaid, and they decided to do something to get the money they felt they deserved. So I'm like, okay, this is resonating with me. So I asked her for the details of the book. And y'all, this book changes my life. This is why I would never change anything about what I've experienced in life, whether good or bad, because you never really know what experience is going to set you on a trajectory for your best and your highest. Real quick, before we go on, if you're serious about making consistent, reliable income in your business this year, I'm hosting a free masterclass where I break down my exact system to making consistent 5K and 10K months in your business without burnout. Now, I don't know how many times I'll offer this masterclass again or if I'm going to continue to offer it for free, because you never know what tomorrow brings. So click the link below or go to success.millionaires.co/masterclass to snag your spot today. That's success.millionaires.co/masterclass to snag your spot today. So besides having office meetings about these dishes, one day this man pulls me into the office with another business owner who shares our same office suite. So as the 2 principals of these businesses, he pulls me into the office with this guy, and it comes up on this agenda that he wants me to keep the place tidy. Now, once again, I'm not saying to just go into your job and tell them what you are and aren't going to do. But I'm saying for me, when I had a job description and I've been doing it well and growing in that role over the past year, you're not going to have me go backwards and start putting your dishes in the dishwasher. I'm sorry, like, it depends what type of trajectory I'm on. Like if I'm working to be a personal assistant or something of that nature, a household manager, that's different, but that's not the type of environment I was in, nor the career trajectory I was on. So I had no desire to put this man's dishes in the dishwasher. So it comes up in the meeting that as, basically being in that office manager, administrator role, that I should keep the public areas tidy. I'm like, I absolutely agree. I'll do general tidying. I put on the coffee in the morning. If we host guests in the office and I need to help set up for a lunch and tidy up, no problem. But people's individual dishes that you just decided to have your breakfast break or your lunch break in the office, and instead of finishing the task and going to put them away, you leave them on the counter. No, I'm not doing that. Well, the other business owner fully agreed with me. And so he's like, yeah, absolutely not. Totally agree, right? He has no idea that this man has brought up, because once again, we're two separate companies. He doesn't know this man has been bringing it up in our team meetings or anything like that about taking his dishes off the counter. It's not an office-wide problem. It's his problem. So the other business owner, he fully agrees with me. No biggie. I'm thinking we're ready to move on to the next topic of conversation. Well, my boss just doesn't want to let it go. And he's like, well, either way, I don't care how the stuff gets on the counter or what's on the counter, blah, blah, blah. I want you to take care of it. And I was like, once again, if there are general things that just happening that are office wide, et cetera, that's one thing. But I'm not going to take anyone's individual dishes off the counter and put them in the dishwasher. And the other owner pipes in. He said, absolutely. And if anyone is putting their dishes on the counter, you tell me and I will get on them personally. I said, I absolutely will. I absolutely will. Once again, my boss does not want to let this go. And he insists, even so, I want these counters clean. And before I know it, your girl blurts out, I'm not your house slave. When I tell you these two men turned beet red, the other guy had no idea what was happening. Poor thing, he was just caught in the crossfire. I honestly don't even remember the rest of the meeting. All I know is that day I typed up my resignation letter. Okay. And the moral of the story is stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Because I don't know about y'all. Y'all might be a little bit more temperate, a little bit more self-controlled. Me personally, at that time, my mouth had a mind of its own. So I done told this man, I'm not your house slave. I had to let it go. I had to let the job go. There was no way I was going to continue to work with him after that. So I said, let's just go ahead and end this right here before it gets any more tense. And, let's just move on with our lives. There is absolutely nothing wrong with working a job, but don't you ever let nobody own you. Always, always, always have a freedom fund so that if you need to walk away, you can. I was able in that moment to say, okay, this isn't working. This is turning into something that's toxic. So let me end this right here. But here's the thing. I was already preparing behind the scenes. So when it came to that point where it was like, okay, it really is time to leave this job, I was already ready to jump into my own business venture. Now, maybe you don't want to leave your job. Maybe you love your job. It's perfectly grand. But if you know that in your heart you were born to be an entrepreneur and you want to leave your job one day, or you want to start a business on the side so you're bringing in that extra income every month, this is what I did to get ready. So first of all, I was really, really wise with my spending plan. So I made sure to be really frugal with my expenses so that I could prepare for any transitions that were necessary. I was saving my money where I could. And then I started forming my business. So I did all the legal stuff with the feds, the state, city, county, all the local stuff. And then what I did is I started building a portfolio of my skill set so people could see what I could offer them. And I made what I do, I made the service I provide into a process. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. This is step 1, 2, 3. So that people would know when they come to me, I'm not somebody that's just haphazardly practicing on you. I've thought about this. I have a process and a way to approach this. And when I say I'm not practicing on you, that doesn't even necessarily mean that you have to have a ton of experience. You can be super qualified but not necessarily have experience. I think it was Brendan Burchard who was a coach for Olympians. That doesn't mean he ever was successful in the Olympics himself. Some people just have a gift for being able to see what's needed and being able to solve that particular issue. So don't count yourself out just because you don't have quote unquote formal experience in an area. So 3 things I did: saved my money, started forming my business, made my service into a step-by-step system and process. Okay, so that's, first of all, that was all the behind the scenes. The next thing I had to do was get people who were ready to buy. So what I did, so I wouldn't necessarily have to go out and hustle for clients, I went to an online marketplace where there were already people ready to buy. They were looking for freelancers to help them in their business. So I created a schedule where 2 days a week I was prospecting, reaching out to clients. 1 day a week I was hopping on the phone with them or a video call, asking them, hey, what are the pain points you're experiencing in your business? Okay, this is my process for solving that. And then closing those sales. And then the other 2 days of the week, I'm actually working on client projects. So that was my schedule for building out my business. And then from there, I was able to get reviews. I was able to get referrals. I started noticing a lot of people in the same niche were coming to me. And then they were able to refer other people to me that were in that same ecosystem. And then I was able to start saying, I specialize in this because that's primarily who I was serving. And then instead of taking on random projects, I became the expert people sought out in that particular space and ecosystem. And that's how I made my first 6 figures in my business. So you can do it too. I am a witness. So many people stay in low-paying, high-stress jobs, and I'm not one of those people who's like, live a soft life, don't work, et cetera, because I think that's just as toxic. Because, how many days can you really spend on the beach? It's going to get old, right? I think what you should seek instead is to find meaningful work that does not feel like work. Finding your ikigai, as they say. So identify a high-value skill that you can offer. Go on a platform where the clients already exist. There's lots of marketplace apps. That's exactly what Fiverr is. That's exactly what Upwork is. That's exactly what Turo and Uber and Lyft are. They're marketplaces where they're connecting people who are ready to buy with people who are qualified to deliver that service. And then just set a structured system for landing and serving your clientele, and then building up your credibility by always asking for reviews and referrals. If you want some tips on how to do this, check the description box below for the resources I have on this subject. Drop a comment below. Have you ever had a boss try you? Okay. What's your wildest work story? Maybe I'm the only one. Am I the only one? Let me know in the comments. And if you're serious about making consistent, reliable income in your business, definitely join my Millionaire Mastermind community, where you can get direct feedback from me and we're helping each other level up every single day. You can check the link in the description box below. All right, y'all, it's your biz bestie signing off. Peace.